Welcome to our very first MQtrader webinar for year 2022. I'm Grace, your host for today's event. I'm one of the MQtrader team, which is the organizer for today's event. Before we start, can I just run a mic check? If you can hear me clearly, please type 1 in the chat box. Great. Very Diong. Yeah, so everyone can hear me clearly. Thank you for your response, Ronnie, Justin, Shirley. Okay, Happy New Year, everyone. Let's have some interaction before we start the webinar. So Chinese New Year is around the corner. Have you done your shopping yet? Are you busy with your CNY preparation or any planning? You are more than welcome to use the chat box to respond. So you may type yes if you are shopping or not, or you are done with shopping already, or you're still in the shopping, not yet done, busy. Yeah, Ronnie. Or someone is staying low, not celebrating CNY this year. No one is doing shopping, is it? Last minute shopping, yeah. It's two weeks from now from CNY. So yeah, so I believe many of you are busy preparing for CNY for these few weeks. So thank you for sparing us your busy schedule and come to this webinar. We really appreciate it very much. Talking about shopping, right? Let me just share my screen. So talking about shopping, we have this MQ marketplace where you can redeem your MQ points for vouchers or MQ merchandise. Remember to check it out because you can see that there are also a variety of red packets available for you to redeem. Yeah. So for those who are new to us, Mqtrader is full name is Malaysia Quantitative Trader Group. We are an independent trader group that uses quantitative methods to perform our trade analysis. And we have developed the Mqtrader stock analysis system and made it available to all our MQ members. So this is how the Mqtrader stock analysis system looks like. We have included various trading strategies in the system. So on the screen, you can see that the system will compute buy and sell signal for you based on the strategies that we have included. The sample signal that I've used is EMA 5 crossover strategy with D&O daily chart. So in short, Mqtrader brings what the institutional investors have to the retailers' hands. And with this system, our trader can easily identify possible trends. It will make our traders' life much easier because they can plan their trades by referring to a reliable tool that has compiled various trading strategies for them. So if you want to use this tool, you just need to sign up for an Mqtrader account, and you can sign up via the link in the comment section. Or you can just sign up through the link on the screen as well. Before I move on, can I check how many of you want bonus rewards? If you want, type yes in the chat box. Thank you, Ari. Yes, Mqtrader has been an excellent platform. Great. Yeah, so I see a lot of you responding. Yes, thank you, Brenda. Steve, yes, everyone wants bonus rewards, right? So here you go. We have 2 bonus rewards available for all Mqtrader members in this webinar. Number 1 is our check-in rewards. We will be giving out 300 MQ points for free when you register and attend our webinars. So you just need to send us a screenshot of the webinar to the WhatsApp group we have for you to get the 300 MQ points, or just email to us as well. Before anyone forgot about it, I'll pause here for you to take the screenshot so that you can send it to us and claim your check-in rewards. You can take your screenshot now. Slides we won't be sharing, but we will be doing the recording and sharing the recording later. I will let you know how you can get the recording. Okay, everyone done your screenshot? So come to the second bonus, is the quiz rewards. You can win a 50% discount voucher on Sgx Academy courses when you answer the post-webinar quiz correctly. The quiz is very easy to answer. You just need to listen to our speakers sharing today, and I believe you can answer them easily. There will be only 20 discount vouchers for you to win. So remember to do the quiz soon when you receive the quiz link in your email. Regarding Sgx Academy, it is an online learning platform for investor education. So if you're looking for a place to sharpen your trading strategy, I recommend use Sgx Academy. Again, remember to answer the post-webinar quiz to stand a chance to win the 50% discount voucher. And if you haven't taken the screenshot for check-in rewards, right, you can do so now. I'll pause here for you to take the screenshot so that you can send it to us and claim your check-in rewards. While waiting for others to take the screenshot, can I check how many of you have a trading account with MQtrader? If you have, type 1 in the chat box. If you do not have it yet, you can type no. 1. 1 means yes, right? Eddie, Ronnie, you can type yes as well. Huh? Tian, okay, 1. Christine, thank you for your response. 2 means no, is it? Okay. Yes, I see a lot of your response. Thank you for your response. Great. So I see a lot of you already have a trading account. For those who type no or 2, or you do not have a trading account with us, you can open a trading account with us today. Opening a trading account with MQtrader is free because we'll cover the account opening fees for you. So when you sign up today, you also get an extra 500 MQ points when your account is open. Besides, you can also enjoy the benefits provided by MQtrader as shown on the screen, including the MQ points I've mentioned earlier. You can use it to redeem from our MQ marketplace. So these are benefits exclusive to our members only. I saw some of you asking some of the questions. It's either our MQ team will answer later on, or I will try to answer by the end of the webinar. We'll have a time for Q&A on MQtrader only. Okay. So we will be giving out mysterious gifts towards the end of the webinar. Remember to stay tuned towards the end to grab it. So this webinar is live on our Zoom and Facebook page. Feel free to share our Zoom and Facebook link with your friends so that they can learn something from our webinar as well. We will have a Q&A session by the end of the webinar. If you want to interact with our speakers, do stay till the end. Throughout the webinar, you can type out your questions to our speaker on our Zoom or Facebook Live. Our MQtrader team will compile them and send them to our speaker. We will be sending out today's webinar recordings, like what Barry asked just now, to all who registered for this event. If you haven't registered for the event, but you want the recording, right, you can provide us your email address through the link in the comment section, or send us your email address to our email or WhatsApp number shown on the screen. Yes, Very. I believe, Very, you have registered, so you will get a webinar recording if you're registered. MQtrader has organized a few webinars in the past. So can I just check how many of you have attended our webinar before? If you have attended any of them, you can just type 1 in the comment section. Yes, Very, you have attended. Brenda, I haven't attended. Never mind. We will be organizing more and more. You can attend after that also. Yes, so I see a lot of you have attended. Thank you for your response. I believe those who have attended our past webinars have learned a lot from it. So if you have missed any of the past webinars, the recording are available on our Zoom, on our Facebook page and our MQdemy page. You can visit our MQdemy link or scan the QR code on the screen to save the page on your device if you want to watch the recordings. Very watch on Sgx. Okay, so coming back to our webinar, we know that the last quarter of 2021 has been rather volatile for the stock market, especially on Omicron developments and ongoing news on monetary policy tightening. As we start our first webinar in 2022, we've invited Mr. Joey Choy, a famous mentor and author in Singapore, who will be sharing his point of view on how to geometrically grow your stock portfolio by more than 20% in 2022. So Mr. Joey is an experienced teacher, I would say, experienced in teaching people on how to make a profit by trading the stock market. He is also one of the most watched, quoted, and followed stock trading trainers in Singapore. So are you ready to learn how to increase your portfolio by 20% this year? Type ready to let me know you are ready for it. Thank you, Yuhan. Yes, let's go. Okay, great. So since we are all ready, let us welcome Mr. Joey Choy to share with us now. Mr. Joey,
thank
I'll
you.
pass
Hi,
the
thanks,
time to
Grace.
you.
Thank you so much. Let me just go ahead to share my screen. All right. Okay, good. Where is it? Hey? Okay, let me share my screen, guys. Grace, am I able to share my screen? Seems like.
Yeah, you should be able to. I stopped my share screen already. You try?
Okay, wait, let me just try. Oops. Where is the share screen?
Do you need me to help you share?
Just give me a second, all right? So, where is the share screen button? So sorry, guys. Let me just try. Where is the Zoom? I can't see to find my share screen button is like missing. Let me just go ahead to. I'm so sorry. It seems like
No problem.
yeah, I can't.
While waiting for Mr. Joey to check
maybe
for the
just go
share
ahead to go
screen.
first. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I saw that Tan, you have asked in the question and answer box. You missed the screenshot, right? You can screenshot now. It's okay. And then you just send us any part of the webinar screenshot to our WhatsApp or anything. Or our email also can.
My God. Where is the Zoom? Where is the Zoom thing? Maybe I'll just exit and I'll join again. Is that all right? Let me just.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me just exit. Sorry.
So Tan, you can take your screenshot now first. I've shared the screen again. Since we have a little time, right? Thank you, Ari, for the feedback. Yes, I will smile more for the picture taking. Is anyone taking picture anymore? I'll try to find back the questions and question regarding MQtrader. So you have asked KSS, you have asked any demo or paper trade. For now, because we are partnering with different brokers and currently the M equities broker, right? They have demo version. You can go to the M equities website and then you just sign up for a demo version for the trading platform lah. Brenda,
I'm going to
this
share my screen. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, you can try again. Brenda, I will answer your question after this. Yeah. We'll try to let Mr. Joey to share his screen first.
Sorry. I think I need to show my video. Let me just show the video. Sorry. I can't show the video, Grace. Let me.
Okay, hold on. So Brenda, while waiting for the technical thing, I'll answer your question first. So this is for not only for SGR, I believe Mr. Joey will be sharing on technical analysis, and I believe this part of technical analysis is applicable for a lot of.
Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah, you can see your screen.
Awesome! Finally, so sorry guys. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, sometimes it just didn't work. Okay, let me just go to share my screen. I think you guys can see my slide. See if you can see my face as well. I think not too sure, but it seems like I can't see my face. I can't start my video. Because the host has stopped it. Yeah, seems like you're not able to see my face, right? Still?
Yeah, hold on. Try. Yeah, you can try again now.
Okay, good. I think you can see me. Everything? Okay, good. So sorry, guys. My name is Joey, and I'm so sorry for that technical glitch that we have seen just now. But I'm glad that you guys hopefully can see and hear me, and I sincerely apologize for that. And guys, by the way, if you can see and you can hear me loud and clear, just type a one in the chat, so I know that you guys are still here. I think we have like more than 90 of you guys. Okay, awesome, guys. I can see you guys. Hi, Wary, Steve, Brenda, Bunchong, Ahmad, Lai, Chong, Shirley. Yes, Theo. I can see you, Christy. Yes. Welcome to this very webinar. Firstly, again, my sincere apologies for what has happened just now. We wasted about 3 minutes. I'm sorry about that, but I'm glad that you guys can see and hear me. Let's dive right into it right now, right? So in today's webinar, right, we'll be pretty much discussing about how to geometrically grow your stock portfolio by more than 20% in 2022, right? With these top 5 SG stocks that I will share with you right at the end. Make sure you stay all the way to the end, even if you have never opened a single chart. Let me know how many of you are keen in this. Type yes in the chat. Let me know, type yes in the chat if you want to know how to do this and what are the 5. So, Mqtrade for having me here, and same as for Sgx having me here as well. And I'm really happy to be here. So, there'll be so many things to cover by the end of this session, but before I even go into that, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for being here today. We have like more than 90 of you on board. Thank you so much. So I'll do everything in my power to make sure it's well worth your time. Sounds good, guys? All right, so let's go ahead, right? So just a quick disclaimer, whatever that's shared today, pretty much just for educational purpose only. So please do your own due diligence as well, right? So this is pretty much the 3 secrets that we reviewed today. All right, secret number 1, we do a quick market outlook of where we are heading in 2022, right? What are some of the factors that are affecting the market right now, and what do we expect in the next few months and as we move into 2022, right? That's secret number 1. Secret number 2 is a glimpse of my one good trend, right? In short, 1GT strategy, and how to ride these massive potential stocks by positioning yourself at high probability hot zones, right? So this is what we do. I do kind of like share with you guys a quick glimpse of the strategy before we even dive into those stocks, so at least you know why we even like these stocks in the first place, right? So number 3, secret number 3, my best stocks, right? Best Singapore stocks that you definitely want to put them in your watch list to think about how to position yourself this year and how they have done pretty well for us over the past year as well. So these are the 3 secrets that will be revealed today. How many of you are keen in these 3 secrets? Type 3 in the chat. Let me know. 3, okay. Okay, very 3 capital land. Bong 3 asking about capital. Sam, hi, 3, hi, Teen. Awesome, guys. So let's move on, right? So just a quick show of hands. How many of you have not like seen me before? I mean, this is pretty much your first time that you're seeing me, whether is it on a webinar or live face-to-face. Let me know. First time, second time, or many times. Let me know in the chat, guys. First time, Ahmad, first time. Awesome. Kerwin first, Billy first, Christine, hi, Wary first. Okay, Ashraf first, Kai, hi, Teen first. Seems like pretty much it's your first time, most of you are first time seeing me. So would it be okay if I share a little bit of my backstory so that you know what I'm doing and what why am I speaking to you guys? Would that be okay, guys? Let me know in the chat. Type yes. Yes, Eddie, thank you. Kerwin, yes, awesome. So guys, my name is Joey Choy, all right, and welcome to this very webinar. In fact, I already do webinars like this. I normally teach people in real life events and seminars how to trade the stock market profitably, right? But of course, we can't really do that now, right? So yes, over the last couple of years, I had the privilege to be able to impart my skills and knowledge to thousands of people from all walks of life in Singapore, pretty much conducting full house seminars as well. And I'm also really honored to be able to share the stage with some of the top trading experts, speaking on platforms like InvestFair, Invest Carnival, Mqtrade, and some of the top trading summits in Singapore. I'm also really humbled to be one of the award-winning top-tier remisial broker in Singapore, winning multiple yearly awards like Top Account Growth Achiever, Top Trading Representative, and all that. All right, and yes, pretty much all this while, teaching people not just to make some side income or some small gains here and there, but essentially to change lives, right? So that's what I've been doing, right? And normally when people see what I do today, what people see is all this surface level. What they see is all the fancy stuff like the speaking gigs, the events, the night trades, the awards. That's what people today see on the surface level. But what people don't see is that things will not always like that for me. In fact, just a couple of years back, I was completely crushed, right? It was not like that for me, right? And a couple of years back, I was completely crushed, down all the way to my knees. Let me just share with you guys very quickly. And this came out in the Business Times in Singapore as well. Look at this right here, down 740K that after penny stock crash, he clawed his way back. So what happens was one of my clients had come like over leveraged and his losses came up to like $740,000. So, as a reminder, we are pretty much liable for clients' debt, and I actually had to foot the debt. And, in about 2.5 years, long story short, I managed to climb back up all from the stock market, from my broking and trading income as well, right? So this is pretty much what has happened to me and, to what I am today, right? So this, what you guys are, what people are mostly saying is all the fancy stuff, but pretty much I was like all the way crushed down, right? So I'll not talk too much about my story, about the whole strategy that I use and all that. So if you want to find out a bit more, you can attend one of those free web classes. This is the QR code. In fact, I'll just put the link here for you, so you can just go to save it. And let me just put the link so that all of you would be able to save. All right, so this is the 1GT, one good trend web class to pretty much find out a little bit more on the strategy that we use on how to get in and also get out of stocks, right? So I've just placed the link over there. Okay, so how many of you are still following me? Type 5 in the chat if you're still following me and you kind of like know me a little bit better already. Let me know. Okay, good. Sam, Kerwin, Penny, 5. Thank you. All right. Okay, good. So that is the link, right? That's the link over there. You can go to check it out. All right. And I'll share it again probably in the end, right? So are you guys ready to discover the market outlook for 2022? Type yes in the chat if you guys are ready before we dive right into the charts. And I'll do a quick analysis of the Dow Jones and even the STI as well, the Singapore market. Yes, awesome. Let's go ahead. All right, let me just pull out the charts for the let's take a look, right? So this is the Dow Jones, right? And I have it on slides right here, Dow Jones and STI index, but why not let me just show you guys on a real life chart, right? So this is the Dow Jones, all right, and pretty much trading at about 35,368, right? 35,368, and you can see that just last night we kind of like sold off by more than 500 points, right? So before I talk about where we are, let me just do a quick analysis of what has happened over the past 1 year, maybe since like 2021. So it was quite a good recovery. I think after COVID, look at this right here, it was March 2020. It was a very, very strong recovery. We kind of turned from like down to a bit of an uptrend, pushing higher all the way, and somewhere around like April 2021, the market has been what we call a little bit of a sideways consolidation in the short term. So we're like consolidating above this 33,500 all the way to somewhere around that 36,000. Look at this, right? Pretty much moving sideways, up, down, up, down. Let me just go to draw it for you right here. You can see that this is pretty much the range that has happened over the past like 1 year, right? This is like a sideways range right here, up, down, with pretty much a good support at around that 33,500. So that's where we kind of like rebounded many times right here. All right, rebounded like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And this is where we are right now. So I would say that the trend in the mid to long term for the entire market, it still looks quite okay for now, as long as those good support levels are holding, right? But what are some of the key factors that are affecting the market? You can take a look at this right here. You can see that we kind of like sold off somewhere in November. You can see in November we are somewhere around here 36,000. Anybody can tell me why we sold off like in November? Anyone? What's the reason why we kind of like sold off somewhere in like mid of November, last week of November? Omicron, exactly correct. So that is the pretty much the Omicron news that came out, right? Not just the US, the Singapore, Hong Kong, everyone sold off as well, because pretty much there was a lot of uncertainty. People were pretty much unsure what to do, and it's pretty much like sell first and ask later kind of thing. So the market kind of like sold off from like 36,000 to around that, look at this, 34,000 to 33,500. So that was where we kind of rebounded again, and we went up and we sold off again somewhere in December. And anyone can tell me why did we sell off in December? Because of what? QE, right? The quantitative easing measures that is being read in terms of the tightening of the monetary policy, right? So that's where the market sold off. And I would say we are kind of like rebounded. And, over the past 1-2 weeks, we have seen selling again, because right now, I think one of the main factors that are affecting the market would be the interest rate hike. So somewhere around December, they're talking about like, the Federal Reserve was talking about 3 rate hikes, but now it pretty much seems like there'll probably be like 4 rate hikes this year. And the first one will probably start in like March, which is like 2 months from now. So that's kind of like not something not so good whenever there are talks about rate hikes, about inflationary pressures, becoming out of hand. That's where the market will react negatively. So I'll say that for this year, right, we might see a little bit of weakness in terms of the short term each time we hit to certain resistance level. In this case, it would be that 37,000 level. That's where selling can actually come back again, right? And people will use the opportunity to kind of like sell down whenever there are any bad news. But overall, I would say that the longer term trend still looks quite intact for the market for now, because we have been hearing about interest rate hike news, and we sold off, we rebounded again. So right now we are actually seeing a sell down back towards this level, right? And just thinking of this level, I think all of you would know as well, this would be that 35,000 level. Look at this. This is the 35,000 level. You can see that we rebounded as well somewhere in December. Now we're heading here as well. That's for Dow Jones, and also where the 200 days. Look at this. This is the blue line, the outward sloping blue line is a 200 days moving average. So that's where the longer term uptrend still looks intact as long as prices go to maintain above, right? So you can see this is where it kind of like coincides with the 35,000 level. So as we kind of like approach this level, probably over the next few days as well, we can potentially expect a little bit of bargain hunting. Hopefully, same thing like what we saw in December. We can see a little bit of rebound here from the banks, for some of the tech stocks as well. That would be a good support level, right? So this is Dow Jones, right? If this level were to be broken, then we are pretty much back to that very, very key support that I talked about that we've been holding since like June last year, June, July, which is that 33,500 to 34,000 level. I think that level would be key in terms of more upside or potentially some bargain hunting coming back again. So I think that is pretty much the Dow Jones for now, all right, whereby we are seeing some short-term weakness, but overall in the longer term, as long as we stay above some of those good support levels, and the Feds don't come out and say that they want to hike rates by 6 times or 7 times and more than what people are expecting. If they do that, then definitely we might see more weakness, because now it's like the 3 or 4 rate hikes has kind of already been priced in. All right, if they kind of like change their stance, they want to hike rates more aggressively, or maybe even hike rates in terms of the absolute percentage. For example, now in March they're saying like maybe about 25 basis points, 0.25% rate hike. But if they suddenly come out and say like they want 0.5% or 1%, then it might not be a good thing, right? That's where the market might actually sell more, because that hasn't been priced in yet. All right. Okay, so that's Dow Jones. Let's take a look at the STI, the Straits Time Index. Guys, type STI in the chat if you're still here and you want to know how is the STI doing. Let me know. Type STI in the chat. Okay, good. STI. Hi, Michelle. Very good. Sam. Awesome. Let's go to Straits Times Index STI. So this is the STI. Very, very strong, I would say, uptrend that we've seen somewhere since 2020. Very, very strong, started to rebound, post-COVID recovery, same thing like the Dow Jones, all right? But we were pretty much consolidating, all right, in, since like March 2021, all the way just above this 3050 level. You can see we kind of rebounded like about 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And we kind of like hit it back over the past week, back to this 3,300. Look at this, 3,300 is pretty much where we were even before COVID, all right? And this is pretty much the resistance level. So I think that this 3,300, to be honest, is quite critical. It's quite critical. We are actually seeing selling near there, like what we have seen even before COVID. You can see we touched, came down, we touched and came down. And this is where we are right now, about 3,283. So over the past few days, we are in fact still seeing selling. I think we can break that level, then not too bad. But given the weakness they have seen in terms of like rate hikes and all that, we might actually see selling again. So if it does pull back to some of those levels like the 3,002 or maybe the 3,001 level, that is where potentially you can think about like loading up in terms of some of the good blue chips as well. I think that's where some bargain hunting can actually come back again right here. So this is the STI, pretty much the same factors that are affecting the market, the interest rate hikes, but we did see the STI stage a very, very strong rebound over the past 1 to 2 weeks, mainly because of the banks, right? The Singapore banks, or DBS and UOB. We'll be probably covering some of them as well, all right? And that's where we saw the banks rising by 3 to 5 or 6% over the past few weeks, and leading the entire STI index. So yeah, pretty much we have risen, we have broken some of those like 3,002 level, a firm resistance level, went up to 3,003. But just take note that 3,003 will be quite critical, all right? Any bad news, you might actually see a little bit of retracement, and that could actually be a good opportunity to think about getting in again. All right, so this is the TI, all right? So yeah, I mean, pretty much we just done a quick run through of the market in terms of the technical levels, all right? So let me just go back to my slides. And yeah, are you guys ready to kind of like have a glimpse of my one good trend strategy before we dive into the top 5 stocks? Let me know, type 10 in the chat if you're ready to dive into the one good trend strategy. So at least you guys know kind of like, you know, what is this whole strategy about? How do you do it? You know, before we even look at the stock, so it kind of like makes sense, right? Let me know, type 10 in the chat. Okay, good, 10. So yes, we have more than 120 of you over here. Welcome to this very web class, guys. So make sure you stay all the way to the end of this web class if you want to find out what are some of the top Singapore stocks to put in your watch list for 2022, and make sure you stay all the way to the end also. As what Mqtrade has mentioned as well, there will be a post-webinar quiz, right? So make sure you check your email right after the webinar. They'll send you an email with a quiz, and that's where if you answer the quiz correctly, there'll be some awesome vouchers. I think all of you like discount vouchers, right? Sgx Academy vouchers, MQ points. Make sure you check your email, and that's where you'll get some of those goodies, right? And yeah. Okay, Ken. So yeah, there will be a quiz. Check your email for the post-webinar quiz to earn some of those points and vouchers. All right, so 10. Let's go on. Lucy, hi. Kelly, Melinda, we have a few of you coming on board. Hi, Dion as well. Good to see you here. So let's go in, right? So this is secret number 2. All right, so we've pretty much covered secret number 1. Apologies if I'm talking a little bit faster, trying to cover some time which you have missed just now due to the technical glitch. But I think hopefully you guys are following me, right? So let's move to the secret number 2, which is the simple yet powerful one good trend strategy of why this best Singapore stocks are even in my watch list right now. So that's a quick glimpse of what is the whole strategy about, and how do we look at the trend, how do you know when to get in and all that, right? So how do you determine the trend of any counter in 5 seconds before even riding it? What are some of the channel resistance lines and moving averages which we can use some of those indicators to affirm the trend? I'll show you guys, not to worry, and pretty much taking trades with the trend while protecting profits. So I think all of you will know maybe a little bit of trend trading. Right? In essence, it's about determining the trend of a counter, and if the counter is in an uptrend, then we want to think about getting in, about buying, about riding the uptrend, about protecting our profits and maximizing our gains while we are riding the uptrend. Does it make sense? All right. And of course, we want to make sure to get out if the trend has reversed. So we don't want to buy and keep and hold and then thinking it's uptrend, but after that, the trend has turned down and we are still holding on to it blindly, but yes, already turned down, right? No, we want to protect our profits and get out if the trend has reversed. But essentially, if the trend is good, is up, that's where we can think about buying. We can think about loading up on dips, buying more to fully, maximize our profits in an uptrend. All right, so yeah, we have some questions. Do you include like strategies like MACD? These are pretty much very, very good questions, but do hang on to those questions. Lucy, we'll try to cover in the Q&A at the end as well. And that's where there'll be a Q&A to ask questions. All right, thank you so much for your questions. Let's move on. So very quickly, what is a trend about? What's a downtrend? What's an uptrend? So most of the time, right, a stock would be moving in what we call consolidation phases. It will not like go down every single day or go up every day. All right. So it'd be like a downtrend to uptrend would be something like this. You up, down. And in a downtrend, we can draw what we call a downward sloping channel resistance line. You can see R1, R2, R3. So you can touches come down right here. So pretty much in a downtrend, I would say on the left part, right? Look at this, right? So it's a downtrend, right? But somewhere around here, you can see that we kind of broke this resistance line. So like a downward sloping channel resistance, we kind of broke this line. And that can kind of like signal a potential uptrend beginning to form. I'm not confirmed, right? But it's a beginning to form. Of course, we need a little bit more confirmation. But as it breaks here, that can be a sign of buyers coming back again, and a good signal that the trend might turn from down to up. All right. And yeah, once you kind of break that level, you can see that we have what we call prices pushing higher, up, down. And we have also like the support S1, S2, S3, pretty much forming higher support lines. All right, so let's go on to take a look at this again, right? So this is the one method we can tell, right, in terms of like a downtrend to uptrend, whereby it breaks on those resistance level and we can turn from a down to an uptrend. Right? What about the moving average? Let me just share with you. So we can actually kind of pull out these 200 days moving average, right? So I think pretty much we covered the Dow Jones just now, right? Whereby the blue line was actually a 200 days moving average. And if prices were to be above this blue line, look at this, right? So this is like a downtrend, like what we saw just now. And you can pull out this 200 days moving average on your chart, right? Any chart, you can just put it out 200 days moving average. Mine, I put it as blue color, as a blue line, all right, that goes like down. It kind of like follows prices, a bit laggy, and it starts to move up and up, right? So how do we know whether is it a downtrend or an uptrend? So with prices kind of like, you know, below this blue line, and eventually prices coming up above this blue line, and you know, this like line pointing up and prices above this blue line, then we can say that the longer term trend is pretty much up. And that's where we want to think about buying. So somewhere around here, you can see that the trend has turned from like a down to an up, because right now prices is above the blue line and the blue line is also pointing up, right? And we can also pull out another line, which is a red line I call the 100 days moving average as well. So this is the 100 days moving average line. You can see it starts to down, push down, 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 and it starts to move up, 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 and you can see it crosses this blue line right here. This is what we call like a bullish crossover as well. So when the red line, 100 days moving average, a shorter term moving average, would cross above the blue line, the 200 days moving average, that could be a sign as well that, you know, the uptrend could potentially start to form up. It could be the beginning of an uptrend. That's why we can think about, you know, buying stocks in an uptrend. Of course, not just anyhow buy, we'll cover where to buy them, but pretty much you can think about buying because the trend has turned from down to up, rather than just buying on the left portion here, because like in the downtrend, if you buy and buy and buy, you can just go down and down and down, and then, you know, you can pretty much get stuck. So we're going to wait for some good signs of a reversal, some good signals that yes, the trend in terms of the downwards direction has ended. We are pretty much entering the upwards phase, and that's where we can think about getting in. All right. Okay. So yes, there's a huge myth, right? As long as you trade in the same direction as the trend, you will profit. How many of you think that this is true? As long as you trade in the same direction as the trend, you will profit. Does it make sense? Is it true? So yes, we have a few questions from everybody. Thank you so much. So yeah, there will be a Q&A at the end as well. All right, so make sure you ask your questions at the end, not to worry. That's where we'll cover some of those questions that you guys are asking about as well. All right, so let me know if this myth is true. As long as you trade in the same direction as the trend, you will profit, or not really true. Yes, true. Okay, Maran, you're saying it's true. Mary, true. Right, Saidi, you're saying it's true as well. Okay, good. So yes, not really. Okay, good. So I would say that this myth is not really true. All right, and okay, I mean, basically, as long as you trade in the same direction as the trend, you will profit. Firstly, all right, if you are in the same direction as a trend, pretty much it's like a 1 point up already. You get a tick, all right? Basically, it's a bonus, right? At least you are not against the trend, right? You're at least in the right direction as the trend. It's better than nothing, right? Better than going opposite. All right, so that's a good thing. But being in the same direction as the trend is one thing, but if you really want to kind of like maximize your gains and get in the right prices and all that, then you need to get in at the right positions, at the right zones, even if you are in the right direction as the trend. Does it make sense? Right? So not just anywhere in an uptrend. I mean, it's okay, good, there's uptrend, but you want to focus on certain levels so that you can kind of like increase your odds of winning in terms of the reward to risk ratio is much higher. Right? So let me show you what I mean. Right? So how to write these massive potential stocks by positioning yourselves at high probability hot zones to get in and out like a pro, right? So after the trend is reaffirmed, great, right? You can use what I taught you guys in terms of the moving averages, the 100 days, the red line, the blue line, 200 days moving average. Yeah, affirm the trend, right? So once it is in and out trend, that's good, right? You want to think about buying, all right? Don't want to go against the trend, right? So you want to look to take positions with the highest reward to risk ratio. So you want to take position at these two critical, these two zones, which I really pretty much focus on. And where are these zones, right? These zones are pretty much near what we call the support and the resistance level, right? So what is the support and resistance levels? I think some of you might be a bit new to this, but a support level, very simple, is just where prices, if you were to like kind of touch that level, it kind of rebounds, it touches, it rebounds. So that's where we are seeing like a support level, right? And a resistance would be something like the ceiling, right? You throw a ball up, you come back down. It's like prices were to touch, it comes back down, touch, comes back down, and a lot of selling pressure over there. So most of the time, a stock will be in what we call consolidation phases between a support and a resistance levels, like up, down, like pretty much from like the first floor, it's like consolidate, and then from the first floor, it breaks, it goes to the second floor, it consolidates, and it goes to the third floor, it consolidates again. So that's pretty much how it works. You're not just going to go from first, second, third, fourth, you know, and every other day you go up. No, that would be like a very, very dangerous and unhealthy uptrend. You want to see some consolidation as it moves up, and that's where, as it moves higher, a new higher support is formed, and that's a good thing, right? If it goes up too fast, you know, there will not be any strong support formed, and if it crashes, it can crash down quite fast, right? So just take note of that. We want to see it consolidate higher as it moves upwards, all right, in an uptrend. All right, so where are the zones? Where are the zones we're going to focus on in an uptrend? So pretty much just two zones. I would say that the first zone would be somewhere right here in an uptrend, whereby if we see a good support level that is holding, we can think about timing our entry near this support level. So in an uptrend, that support will most likely hold, all right, and that's where we can think about getting in near the support level if it were to approach this level, all right, right here, and that's where we can kind of like catch a potential rebound from this support level, all right. And the next one will be right here, whereby if it does break that resistance level that we're talking about, I mean, many times it comes down like 4 or 5 times, but when it breaks that level, all right, in an uptrend, there's a potential for this stock, because we want to wait for some really good bullish price action from the candlestick and all that as well. But if we break that level, it can show that the buyers are pretty much ready to take this stock ready to the next higher phase, and the uptrend kind of like moved out of its current consolidation to a higher consolidation, right? And that is pretty much the two zones that I would like to share with you, right? One is right at this support zone, right, whereby it kind of like rebounds from an uptrend, and the other will be when it potentially break that resistance level. Just these two zones. All right, so pretty much the myth is busted, right? As long as you trade in the same direction as the trend, right, at these two critical zones, you will profit, right? So you want to focus on this, pretty much these two zones, not just, you know, anywhere in uptrend, because if you do it anywhere in uptrend, yes, you can still make money, but the reward to risk ratio might be lesser. You will not make as much as you would want to make. Does it make sense? All right, so this is pretty much the two zones you want to focus on in an uptrend. All right, so let's move on to secret number 3. All right, type 3, guys, type 3 in the chat if you want to move on to secret number 3, which is pretty much the stocks that you guys are waiting for. How many of you still here? Type 3 in the chat. Okay, 3. Hi, Yuhan. Hi, Joey, Maran, Teen, Brandel, Billy, Mary, Sam, Christy. Awesome. Good to see you guys here, and glad that you guys are staying all the way to here. So we've gone by more than about half an hour already. So now that you guys kind of like have a glimpse of a little bit of what this whole entire trend trading strategy, the one good trend strategy that I have is, all right, let me just go to share with you guys the stocks that are in my watch list for 2022 in the Singapore market, which you can also put in your watch list as well. All right, we might see a little bit of weakness, and that's where if it does hit to certain levels, you can also think about, you know, loading up, positioning yourself to get in as well, right? So the secret number 3 is this, right? The best stocks reviewed plus the secret sector in the Singapore market that has generated double digits percentage ROI for us over the past few weeks, and how you could have been right, how you can still continue to write these stocks as well. All right, so these are pretty much the stocks that I like to share with you guys. Maybe just write it down first. DBS, number 1, AEM, UMS, Rex, Geo Energy. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are pretty much the 5 stocks I'll share with you. So just dive into each of these stocks very quickly. Now that you guys know a little bit on the entire strategy, like we had kind of like gone through with you guys a little bit on how it works in terms of the two zones, the uptrend and all that. So I think we can move a little bit faster so that you guys can kind of like get some of the levels so that you can time your entry. So these are pretty much the 5 stocks that I would like to share with you guys in the Singapore market that you can potentially put in your watch list for this year. All right, so let's dive into it. This first one would be DBS. Let me just go to pull out my chart for DBS. Where's my chart? All right, so this is DBS right here, right? So this is DBS, right? And you know, DBS, one of those Singapore local bank, right? And we have kind of like staged a really, really good, I would say, uptrend since like November 2020, all right, when there were talks about vaccine, same like the rest of the other blue chips as well. Of course, besides the aviation sector and all that, right? Yeah, I mean, basically, we had seen quite a good rebound, right, for you know, the banks, right, when there were talks about a vaccine coming out in like somewhere around November 2020, it started to rise. And you can see that in terms of what we covered just now, in terms of the like moving averages or looking at this channel support line, we can kind of like, you know, draw this upward sloping channel support line. So quite a good uptrend. And also in terms of the moving averages, look at this, right? The red line, all right? Remember I talked about the red line and the blue line just now, right? So this red line is the 100 days moving average. This blue line is the 200 days moving average. So right now you can see the prices are like above these two lines, and the red is above the blue. Both of these two lines are pointing up. So pretty much DBS is in quite a good uptrend, all right, for now. Or we kind of like covered it a few weeks back, and we broke actually some of those really good resistance level like that 33, right? 33 was actually a very firm resistance level right here. We were actually consolidating below right here. You can see somewhere in November right here, and you can see we kind of like sold off due to Omicron, and we went down to this really good support. Let me just go to draw it for you. I would say this is a very good support somewhere from 29 to 30. All right, and you can see we kind of like sold off due to Omicron all the way down to around that $30 also, where the 200 days moving average line is, and we staged like quite a good rebound, right? Even rebounding back above that 31.50, and eventually going to that 33, consolidate below, and over the past 2 weeks, we broke that 33 level, and that's where there were some upside targets that were drawn as well, all the way to like 35 to maybe even 36. So we have kind of like hit a little bit of our targets over the past 1 week plus. And let me just go to draw like a resistance level, okay? And this is like kind of like resistance at about the 36 level. So I would say that for DBS, right, I'm not saying that you should buy right now, because over the past week, we did kind of like saw prices pushing up by more than 5, 6, 7, 8%, all right? And it's quite a good rally. So right now we might potentially see a little bit of profit taking, all right? Might see a little bit of profit taking right here, maybe below that 36. If it does retrace slightly down back towards maybe that 34 level right here, you can see this is also where the 20 days moving average line is as well. I think we can like retrace back down a bit here. I think it could be a very good level to start thinking about getting in on dips again to kind of like catch the rebound in terms of riding the uptrend fully for 2022, right? So this is DBS, one of those good, I would say, uptrending stock that has been pretty much consolidating, all right? But we did break certain levels like the 33, even the 34 gave way as well, and that's where the uptrend can take shape much more firmly, right? And this is one of those stocks whereby you can consider as well on any dips to like maybe the 34 to 33 level. I think that's where buying some bargain hunting can actually come back again. All right, so this is the first stock, DBS, I'd like to share with you. And I think some of you are asking about like AEM, all right, AEM. So let me talk about AEM. I mean, which AEM is pretty much the second stock I'd like to share with you guys right here. So this is AEM. I think some of you are asking if like, Sam, you're asking with the recent sell down on the tech stock, is it good time to enter now, like, UMS and AEM? So yes, we have actually seen a little bit of weakness in the Singapore tech sector, same thing like the US as well, all right, due to talks about tightening of monetary policy, rate hikes and all that. And that's where many of those stocks kind of like sold off as well, all right? But each time we sold off to certain levels, you can see that some of those tech stocks are still holding quite well, all right? They're still holding quite well. So I would say that in the short term, we might see a little bit of profit taking, especially if we hit certain levels. But as it approaches certain support level, you can see as long as we were to rebound from there, all right, and hold above, that's where bargain hunting can come back again, all right? It can be a good opportunity to time your entry to get in again. And this is AEM, right? This is AEM right here, one of those very strong, I would say, stronger uptrending tech stock right now in Singapore. We were pretty much consolidating below this like $4.30. Look at this, right, guys? So this is like pretty much the resistance level we have been below since like March 2021. It came down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And we eventually somewhere in November, we broke this $4.30. And look at this, right? The rally kind of like really started. So that is pretty much, remember, I talked about 2 zones, right? The 2 zones whereby you can time your entry. And this would be pretty much the second zone as we were to break that resistance level. Remember, right? In an uptrend, the 2 zones, one would be like to get in on dips near the rebound, pretty much right here. If there is a little bit of a rebound as we were consolidating, just probably about 390. So that would be like the first zone, right? I mean, if you have like got in real, that would be pretty much the first zone, whereby you can think about like getting in on dips as it approaches this support level. And the second zone would be where it kind of like breaks that resistance level right here, boom, right? We break the 430, and that's where we have the second zone playing out. It's a bit more aggressive move, and the uptrend can actually continue to the next phase, right? So this is pretty much where we are right now, about $5.04. And what would be the zone? So over the past like 1 month plus, you can see that we are seeing a little bit, same thing like what we saw here, right? So we have found a little bit of a support over the past like 1 month plus around the $5 to $4.90 level. So as we approach this level, it could actually become like a good opportunity, all right, to kind of like think about loading up. Of course, let it stabilize a little bit here. All right, do have a plan as well, but it could be a good opportunity and at these attractive levels to catch any potential rebound all the way back up towards the 540 to 550 level. I think pretty much near that 540, 550, that's where the market is not so, I would say, like very bullish. So as we hit to those levels, selling pressure can actually come back. There might be some profit taking as well, and that's where you can think about getting out. But overall, as long as we hold both the $5, the $4.90, especially the trend is still up for now in the longer term, I think it could be one of those companies whereby you can put in your watch list to think about loading up on any dips, especially if it does dip to near the $5, or maybe if we break the $5, we go to like 450. That could be kind of like the second good entry level as we approach the moving averages as well right here, right? So that could be the levels right here. But the thing is, nobody knows whether it will like go down back to this level for you to buy, right? So right now the support will be around the $5. All right, so yeah, do save some bullets in case the market were to weaken. At least you have some bullets to get in near the next support level, which is where the longer term moving averages are. Look at this right here, the red line and the blue line there right here. I think that's where we might see a very, very good support anywhere from 430 to 450 as well if the $5 were to give way. Okay, so that is AEM, right? So yeah, let's move on to stock number 3, which I would like to share with you guys, and that would be UMS, right? So UMS is also one of those tech stocks that have seen a pretty good recovery, I would say, in 2021. And in fact, we can actually draw what we call an upward sloping channel support line, right? Here, let me just go to draw it for you guys. So it's quite a strong uptrend, I would say, since like whole of 2021. You can see rebounding and prices holding above this green channel support line. And also this channel support line you can see is pointing up, so the low is getting higher and higher, so we're forming like higher lows, which shows that buyers are prepared to come into buying at higher prices and supporting this stock as it pushes down a little bit rather than letting it go down to like the previous low, right? So that's a good sign of an uptrend. And in terms of the moving averages as well, you can see that we are still seeing these rates and the blue line both pointing up, all right? Because there's a little bit of weakness in the short term, but the longer term, it still looks quite okay for now, right? For now, it still looks quite okay. In the short term, we kind of broke this level here, the 140. You can see 140 is pretty much the support all the way to like 155. That is the range over the past 2 months, right? And we have kind of broken this $1.40. You can see today over the past, for 1 month, we've been holding above, but we kind of broke the 140. So potentially we can see a little bit of weakness in the short term right here, right? Potentially all the way back down to this next critical support around the 130 or maybe even the 130 to 125 level. Look at this, right? This is also where the 200 days moving average line is as well, right? 200 days moving average lines as well. I think potentially if we hit to like the 125 to 130, that's where some bargain hunting can come back again. So you can kind of like wait for it to come back down, let it stabilize a bit. Hopefully it kind of like consolidates above the 130. That's where it could be kind of like a good entry to catch any rebound. Like what we saw over here, you can see we kind of like sold off. We approached these two moving averages here somewhere in October. All right, and we staged quite a good recovery, came back down, and a very, very strong rebound. So same thing, we might actually hit down to this level again, consolidate, and that's where the next rebound can actually happen again, right? All the way near 130, back to that 140, and if it does break the 140 again, we are pretty much going back towards this 155. Okay, Ken. So this is UMS, also one of those tech stocks that you can think about getting in again near around the 130 level. I think potentially that's where the longer term 200 days moving average is, and potentially where we can see some good support coming back. All right, so that is UMS, right? So yeah, it's about 9:22. So I think we have like a few minutes more. So let me just go on to another sector that I'd like to share with you guys. So let me know if you guys want to know what is stock number 4, right? Stock number 4, type 4 in the chat if you guys are still here before we move on to stock number 4. Okay, good. 4. Hi, Cairo, Ronnie, Penny, 4. Awesome. Let me know, guys, if you guys have gained some value so far in this like web class. Let me know, type value in the chat as well. So if you guys have gained some value so far, let me know, type value in the chat. Penny, value. Okay, value. Joey, value as well. Lance, value. Thank you so much. So yeah, great that you guys have gotten some value. Apologies for talking a little bit faster because I just want to cover as many things as possible just to give you guys value, and that's what's the whole purpose of this entire webinar. All right, so value. Thank you so much, Sam, Joel, Maran, 123, Jove as well. I really appreciate you guys being still here all the way to the end. All right, so let me just dive into. I'm glad that you guys got value. So let me just dive straight into like the last two stocks, which I would like share with you guys, and that would be like Rex International. Right? So we have covered this stock, I would say, for my clients as well, and pretty good stock. I would say it has been like in an uptrend. I would say somewhere around last year. All right, in September, we have seen pretty good rebound. All right, whereby the trend started to turn up in terms of the moving averages. All right, look at this, the red above the blue, both pointing up. I think most of you guys should probably have a kind of like a sense in terms of the uptrend, right? The moving averages, right? So red above the blue, and we were like pretty much consolidating. All right, right here you can see from like 26 to 31 cents, and eventually, so remember the two zones that I talked about, right? So the first zone would be actually right here in an uptrend. You can see that would be like the first zone as we see a little bit of support around at 26. So as it approaches that level, or that's where you can think about getting up, and that's where we kind of like covered it then. All right, and then the next zone will be when it were to break that resistance level. Remember the two zones, right? One would be like near the support, one would be if you were to break that resistance level. So there was a little bit of resistance right here. You can see about 3-1 came down, and somewhere around here, just in the beginning of about 2 weeks back, we broke that 31 level, and that's where it could be like the second zone, whereby the uptrend can potentially continue all the way up to the next target around the 36 cents. So 36 cents was actually our upside targets, and it seems like we are like nearing there a little bit already. All right, so maybe now is not the right time because we are like nearing that resistance level. That's where selling can actually come back again. All right, but I think these two stocks, these stocks is still pretty much on my watch list because the uptrend still looks quite okay. Right, it still looks quite okay in the long term. All right, we might see a bit of consolidation right here from like 31 to 36. It might maybe retrace back down a little bit to somewhere near 32, and that's where you can think about getting in again. All right, and hopefully, all right, if it like consolidates above 32, you can see that is potentially where we might see like a second support zone right here. So as it approaches this level right here, that would be like kind of like the second support zone, 31, 32, 325, somewhere as it put to deep down to this level. And that's where you can think about kind of like loading up again to ride it all the way back to 36. And of course, the second zone will be when it breaks that 36 level. That if it does break at 36, then that's where we can potentially see a little bit more upside. Maybe targets can be raised further for the uptrend to continue all the way to like 40 or maybe even that 45 cents, right? So this is Rex International, right? One of those plays of the oil and gas play in terms of like energy prices, oil prices trying to push higher, and these stocks are starting to benefit from it as well, and we are seeing some strength in terms of the chart, right? So this is Rex International, pretty much an energy oil play that you can also watch in terms of putting in your watch list in 2022. All right, so let me just move on to another one, which would be like Geo Energy very quickly. Yeah, this is pretty much where we are, a very strong uptrending counter. You can see, guys, red above the blue in terms of the moving averages. I think all of you guys would know the COD. You can draw what we call an upward sloping channel support line right here. You can see very strong uptrend, right? So as we consolidate upwards, we kind of like hit a high of around at 42, 45 somewhere in October, and we did see a little bit of a sell down. So as we sold up, you can see we sold down, but we approached this level right here, which is also just above this channel support line right here. All right, so that's a good thing, and we consolidated, and eventually we went above that 30 cents, right? That's the 30 cents level. That is a good sign. The range you can see quite clearly is like 30 to 35. I think if it were to near that 30, maybe 31, 32, around there, that's where some good, bargain hunting or some people might start to load up again to catch the dips for that rebound back to that 35. So let me just go to point to you where is the zone. Remember the two zones, right? So that is pretty much the first zone as you were to hit to, and the second zone would be if it can break that that resistance level at that 35. The 35 level, look at this, right? 35 is pretty much the resistance for now. We broke that level. This was support. We broke it. You can see over the past like 1 month plus, we touch, came down, touch, came down, touch, came down. That is pretty much the resistance for now. So if we can break that 35 firmly, I think upside targets can be revised all the way back to around the 43 or maybe that 45 level, like what we see over here. Right. So this is pretty much the second stock in the oil energy play. All right, that I will share with you that you can also think about putting in your watch list for 2022. All right. Okay, guys. So there we have it. Right. I pretty much covered the 5 stocks: the DBS, AEM, UMS, Rex International, and Geo Energy Resource. I hope that all of you guys have taken notes of those levels. All right, and have put them in your watch list as well for the Singapore market. All right. Okay, let me just move back to my slides. All right, before I hand over the mic to Mqtrade. All right, so this is my slides right here. And I think some of you have been messaging me. Okay, not to worry, guys. We have a Q&A at the end, so make sure you stay all the way to the end, and that's where I will try to answer your questions. I'll have more time for Q&A, so not to worry. All right. Mqtrade will be able to help me with that as well, right? So I think some of you are asking whether, in terms of the ideas wise, let's say you want to get some of my ideas, like Singapore ideas faster, and that's why we do videos on YouTube as well. Yeah, you can pretty much check out my private Telegram group. I'll just place the link for you guys, or you can actually scan the QR code right here. Let me just place the link for every one of you right here. So go ahead to click on the link, right? Click on the link that I've just placed in the chat, or you can scan the QR code. That's where you can join my private Telegram community, and that's where we actually share some of those ideas, videos weekly on some stocks, even some of them like the banks, DBS, even like AEM. We actually covered in like a live Facebook Live as well, and many of those videos are shared in this private Telegram community, right? So let me know once you are done. All right, go ahead, click on the link, enter your name and email address, and that's where you'll be led to a page whereby we will have a secret link to join my private Telegram community. All right, so go ahead to do that. Type done, guys, in the chat once that is done, so that we can move on. All right, and I'll pass the mic back to Mqtrade. Let me know. Type done once that is done, right? So I've just placed the link in the chat already, right? Go ahead to just click on the link. All right, to join the private Telegram, enter your name and email. You go onto the second page, and that's where you find a secret link. I will even drop you an email with a secret link as well, so not to worry, right? Let me know once that is done. Okay, Penny done. Hafez done. Bong Chun done. Awesome. Okay, done. Okay, so yeah, that is pretty much the link. You can go ahead to do that. Alright, I'll put the link here again, and I guess I'll pass the mic back to Mqtrade before we go to the Q&A session. Grace, it's back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Joey, for the insightful and lively session. Yeah, so to all our viewers, thank you for tuning in to this session. If Mr. Joey's sharing has sparked any inquiries in you, please do not hesitate to type them out in the chat box or our Q&A box so that we will start our Q&A session very soon. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so to know more about trading in Singapore, you can visit the link in the comments section or scan the QR code here for more information. You can also scan it before I move to the next slide. You can also receive the latest market insights in Singapore through the Sgx Invest Telegram channel. To join the channel, you just scan the QR code here that will link you to the channel directly in Telegram. I believe there's some delay, so I'll just wait a few minutes. So a quick reminder, you can open a trading account with Mqtrade by sending us your contact details through the open account link in the comments section. Opening a trading account with Mqtrade is free, as we will cover the account opening fees for you. You also get an extra 500 MQ points when your account is opened successfully. So for Mqtrade members who have registered for this event, remember to get your check-in rewards by sending us a screenshot of the webinar via email or our WhatsApp. If you haven't taken the screenshot, you remember to take it now. So there will be a 50% discount vouchers for you to win on Sgx Academy courses when you answer the post-webinar quiz correctly. So remember to complete the quiz when you receive the quiz link in your email. We will be sending out today's webinar recording to all who registered for this event. If you want the recording but have yet to register, you can provide us your email via the link in the comment section or send it to our MQtrader email or to our WhatsApp number on the screen. We'll be giving out mysterious gifts right before the webinar ends. So I'll let you know when and how you can get it by then. Do stay tuned for it. Now, let's move on to our Q&A session. So, Mr. Joey, the very first questions, which is from, let me just filter out my screen. From Lance, the first question. So, Mr. Joey, when a stock price moves above the resistance level, how do you know whether it's just due to market hype or a true breakout based on the strategy that you have mentioned?
Okay, good, Lance. That's a good question, Lance. Right. So let me just go to answer your question. Maybe it'd be okay if I can kind of like share my screen. Would that be all right?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, I'll just go to share my screen. Okay, good. So. Okay, good. So let me just go to answer your question. Maybe I'll just pull up an example, right? I'll put an example right here. And then Lance, you're saying that, when a stock price were to break or move above the resistance level, how do you know whether is it just due to market hype or like a true breakout, or maybe it's like a fake breakout because it can break and then like come back down, right? So totally agree with you, right? So how do we know if it can be a true or a fake breakout? Okay, there's no like 100% move whereby, if it does break that level, a certain thing like that, then you'll be 100% true or you'll be 100% fake. There's no such thing, right? But what we can do is that we can look at certain price action if it were to break, right? And one of those things, like for example, now we are like back to this stock like Geo Energy, right? And okay, maybe let's take a look at Rex International, all right, Rex International, all right, and look at this thing right here. So it was actually like consolidating, all right, from like about 26 to 31, as I mentioned. So that was pretty much like the first zone, and we kind of broke this level right here, right? One of the things that we can't look at as it will to break, as I say, it's not like 100%, right? Because you see certain things, it will be 100% a true or fake breakout. No, it doesn't happen. But what we can kind of use certain things to point towards a higher probability of it being true, maybe like 70-80% chance of it being true, would be by looking at the volume or maybe looking at other indicators like the MACD. But let me just talk about the volume for now. For example, when you break that level right here, you can see right here as it were to break on this day, maybe on the first or this, like for example, the 4th of January right here, as it were to break, look at this day right here. You can see that the volume right at the bottom, all right, the volume on this day is pretty much about more than 2 times, right? More than 2 times above the average. So one of the things we're going to look at when we see a good breakout would be the volume. It becomes like breaks out and then the volume is like 0.5 or 0.2 and not really that strong, then potentially that might not be a very, very firm breakout. I mean, it might just like go up a little bit and come back down. But having said that, doesn't mean you get like 0.5 times volume miss. It might not be good. Sometimes it can also still continue to move on, right? But if we do see like a good volume, like, more than 2 times, 2.5, 3 times, like in this case, somewhere around 2 times on this day, you can see that is where it's a good confirmation that this breakout might potentially continue. It's quite firm, and that's where the uptrend can continue in terms of it being like a true breakout rather than it, just going up and then coming back down. Right, so I hope that answers your question. And one thing that we look at would be the volume as well. All right. Okay, good. Any questions? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Grace?
So volume is one of the factors to confirm the breakout.
Yep.
Yeah, so the second question from Jonathan is that, is there any reason why you choose 100 moving average instead of 20 moving average?
Good question. Actually, I have that 20 days moving average as well. But of course, in the slides just now, when we talk about trend, I did not tell you guys about the 20 days moving average. But if we were to look at my chart right now, you can see that there is actually another green line. All right, there's another green line right here. Sorry if I did not explain to you guys what this green line is, but this green line is actually the 20 days moving average. It's actually a 20 days moving average is like a little bit more on the short term, kind of like a moving average in terms of the short term trend. All right, so each of these lines has a purpose, right? So 20, 100, and 200. So the 20 days would be like more like a short-term kind of a trend whereby looking at in terms of the price movement. Look at this right here. For example, if the prices were to break back down below the green line and green line were to turn down, yes, then the short term, we can see a little bit of weakness in terms of the short-term trend. All right, that's what the green line does, a little more short-term. The red line is the 100 days moving average. So that's where we are looking a little bit on like a 3 to 6 months outlook, a little bit longer term, right, than the green one. All right, and that's where we can determine the mid-term trends. All right, and the blue line, you see the blue line is like slow and steady, like, moves really slowly, that kind of thing. So that one would be like a even longer term outlook, like a year of outlook, right? 6 months to a year kind of outlook, and that will kind of like determine the longer term trend. So I did actually kind of like put these 3 lines pretty much to look at the trend as we were to move up and down in terms of the short, the mid, and the long term. And also once we have that, then we go ahead to look at our consolidation phases. We kind of like get in terms of the 2 potential zones whereby we can think about getting in. Then that I think that would be much clearer, all right, in terms of where to get in, and also how would the trend look when we are going to get in. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thanks for clearing the air. Yeah. So moving on to the next question from Alvin Lee. Oh, sorry, for Lucy Bong. Do you also include other strategies from MACD divergence, RSI divergence, volume breakout, and so on to make your decision?
Yes, we do look at a few indicators like the the popular one with what you guys are mentioning, the MACD, the RSI, and all that. But I think another one would be what we call the candlestick. Of course, I don't have time, guys, to talk about the whole entire strategy. All right, as I say, this is pretty much like more like market outlook, a little bit more like the stocks. I just give it to you guys a little bit of info on how to do it. But if you want to find out a little bit more on like the whole framework, the whole system that we use and all that, go ahead to attend one of those web class. Right? But yes, the answer is yes. Right, we do have certain things that we look at in terms of like the candlestick. I think that's even more important than just like the MACD or an RSI. Like the candlestick, like the bullish engulfing, the doji, the hammer. I think several names. You guys can go and do a little bit of research on it. But we do look at candlestick price actions first, and especially if it does happen at certain zones, like I talked about just now, the 2 zones. If we do see certain candlestick happening at those zones, that will greatly increase our odds of winning, rather than like an MACD or an RSI. Not saying it's lousy, but I think prices are much more important than just 2 or 3 other indicators that it might come like confused. It might be like analysis paralysis, whereby you have too many things. It might just just get confused, right? So just focus on a few things, all right? The 2 zones, the trends, the moving averages, a little bit of candlestick price action that comes in at the right time, right places. That's where it will increase our odds in terms of the uptrend, right? So let me just go ahead to place the link. Again, if you guys are a little bit keen to find out more in terms of the entire strategy, that is the link again, if you want to find out a bit more on the whole entire big picture.
Okay, thank you. So there's a combination of a few strategies, I would say. Yeah, so that's another question from Carlos Tam. What is the top thing to avoid when considering investing in equity this year?
Oh, that's a good question. All right. Who is it that asked the question?
Carlos Tam.
Okay, good. Hi, Howard. Okay, so basically, I would say, Carlos, yes, I saw it, Carlos Tan, the top thing to avoid when considering investing equity this year. I would say that one of the top things to avoid would be trying to catch the high, because basically I would say that this year compared to maybe 2020 or 2021, this is like the first time whereby the Feds are pretty much starting to pull back some of those monitoring quantitative easing measures, right? And they're actually doing it, right? And I think this year the Fed has came out, they're saying about 3 times. Now it's like about 4 times. That's why the market has sold off a little bit more due to expectations of it happening in March and maybe in June as well, and expectation that if rates or in terms of like the inflationary pressures were to increase even further, I think now it's like a 4 decades high. If they get out of control again, the Fed might actually need to do it or hike rates even faster and more. So the market is a little bit more bearish, I would say. In the short term, we might see a little bit of selling. So each time when the price were to push up to certain levels, I would say that sellers will kind of like take this opportunity to just get out, right? For example, right now, now like it comes for this stock especially, you can't hit this level. If you have got in around here, I think it's good to just lock in, get out, take some profit first, wait for pullback to get in again. If not, you know, it might come back down and then you're like back to square one, right? So yeah, I think the market will find a little bit more, you know, reasons to sell a stock because it's just not as bullish as it was in 2020 when the recovery was really strong, in 2021 when the uptrend was still really strong. Now it's a little bit, it's not like a downtrend yet, not to worry, it's not like a downtrend yet, it's just a little bit up and then a little bit sideways, all right? Maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, hopefully we break a certain level, a good catalyst come in, the Fed don't you know, hike rates further, inflationary pressures comes back down to certain reasonable levels and everybody's happy. That would be a good catalyst, all right? And that's where it could be a next wave up again. But right now, we might be a little bit more of a sideways and you know, the market can actually see more selling coming in, you know, or sellers finding reasons to sell stock more quickly, all right? So avoid like just, you know, getting in right at a high, at a resistance, maybe wait for a pullback at certain good support zones for good stocks, uptrending stocks. That is where you can think about getting in, all right? And that's where you will not like be caught buying at the high. I mean, and you know, it comes back down. Yeah, I hope it makes sense, all right? Thanks.
Yeah, it's really insightful. So, okay, so the last question, because of the time constraint, from
Sure.
Alvin Lee, can you have a look at Shengshou Group?
Shengshou, all right. Or Alvin, you're asking about Shengshou, all right? So Shengshou is one of those you know, grocery shopping in Singapore. All right, so let me just go to talk about Shengshou. All right, and it's one of those really good companies that we have seen a really good rally somewhere in 2020. All right, look at this right here. It was like about 105 in March 2020, and that was where, you know, it kind of like staged a really good recovery because of like COVID. And I'm not too sure whether you guys in Malaysia know about this, but you know, we have like the circuit breaker. I think you guys is like they call MCO, right? So and a lot of people have to like stay at home and cook and rush to grocery stores. We have like people queuing up all over the place, and that's where like business kind of like skyrocketed for this company, all right? And you know, we saw a really good rise all the way to somewhere around you know, August 2020, and pretty much have been seeing, I would say, a little bit of weakness. So if you ask me right now for Shengshou, unfortunately there are indeed some signs of the trend turning down, right? How do I know that? Look at this right here. I can just go draw this line right here. This is what we call a great channel resistance line. You can see prices pretty much going down, forming lower highs, and each time it rebounds back up, sellers comes back to push it back down. So it's lower highs. So sellers are kind of like prepared to sell at lower levels, right? And each time it rebounds, you can see that it doesn't rebound back to the previous high. It just rebounds a little bit, and then sellers just comes back to push it back down. So there are some signs of a downtrend. That's the first thing, you know, that you can look at. And also, I think what we have covered in terms of the moving averages as well. Look at this, like the reds and the blue. Are they pointing down? Yes, I mean, they're pretty much pointing down from now, right? The red is like slightly below the blue, all right? And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much in a downtrend, especially below this level. I mean, if I can say this level, this is pretty much the $1.50 level. You can see this is like the resistance for now. I think if we were to stay below this 150 level, unfortunately, we might still be in a little bit of a downtrend. In fact, that's where, you know, near that 150 selling might actually come back again. You know, we can potentially see a little bit of weakness back to the 140, right? So 140 is where, thankfully, it's still like a little bit of support over the past like 2-3 months, rebounded like 1, 2, 3 times here, right? But just take note, there are indeed some signs of the trends turning down, or it was like up. You can see now the red has crossed below the blue, and both are pointing down, and we're still below the 150. Unfortunately, that is pretty much, you know, yeah, it's a bit of a downtrend below this 150 level. All right. Next.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mr. Joey, for answering the questions and for the informative sharing. I believe all our viewers have learned a lot from you today. So to all our viewers, thank you again for joining us today. Let me just share my screen.
Okay, good.
Okay. So if you would like to watch a replay for this session, it will be available on our Mqdemy and Facebook page. We will also be sending out the recording link through email to those who have registered with us. So if you want the recording, please send us your email. Don't forget to complete the post-event quiz once, so that you can grab a 50% Sgx Academy discount voucher. For those who want to open a trading account with Mqtrade, remember to do so now, so that you can also find all these links in the comments section. If you have any further inquiries, you can contact us on our Mqtrade Facebook page, Instagram, and also our i3 Messenger. So this concludes our webinar today. Once again, thank you, Mr. Joey. And to all our viewers, please stay tuned because we'll be starting our mysterious gift session very, very, very soon. Okay, so let me explain how you can get the gifts. I'll be asking questions to the floor, and the first 2 people to send out the right answer in the chat box will get the mysterious gifts. It's as easy as that. There will be 5 questions in total, so we'll be giving out 10 gifts in total. For winners, our Mqtrader team will contact you on the account that you have used to answer the question. It can be your Zoom or our Facebook. And then please remember to reply to our Mqtrader team with your contact details so that we can send the gifts to you. And just a hint, the questions are related to Mqtrader or to our speakers sharing today. Some may appear in our post-webinar quiz as well. So even if you didn't answer if you didn't get the correct answer or didn't get the gift, you can also still use the answer to answer the post-webinar quiz. So there's a lot of answers here. Let's get started with the mysterious gift session now. Number 1, how many points will you get for check-in rewards? Wow, very fast. So Eddie and Kelly, so the correct answer is 300 MQ points. And the first 2 people that got it correct is Eddie and Carrie from my screen. Okay. Next question. What type of moving average was mentioned by Mr. Joey? What type of moving average? Name one of them will do lah. Okay, so the answer is 100 or 200 days moving average. With either one, you get it correct. Let me check who got it correct first. There, 8168 and also WK Team. Congratulations. So remember to send us your contact details when our Mqtrader team contact you so that we can send the gifts to you. Okay. Number 3, the third question. Of the 100 and 200 moving average, which one is more sensitive to price movement? Yeah, you guys have been listening to the webinar very well. So Kian Boon Ong and Tan got it correct, which is 100 days moving average. Again, remember to send us your contact details so that we can send the gifts to you. Moving on to the 4th questions. Name one stock that was mentioned by Mr. Joey in this webinar. Okay, Tan. Okay, so the stock is AEM, UMS, DBS, UOB, and etc. So DBS and AEM was answered by Tan and also Wary. I believe there's no duplicated people, which is very good. We are giving out the gifts to all different people. So again, we will be sending out. Again, remember to send your contact details to us. We'll be sending out the gifts to you soon. The next question and last question. Ready? Go. What can you redeem from MQ Marketplace? If you have taken note on what I've shown on the screen just now, on the very beginning of the webinar. Okay, great. So vouchers, MQ merchandise, including mug, ang pao, books. So Mary M and Wary, you didn't get it correct. MQ points is used to redeem the gifts. So Eddie Cha. So Mary M and Eddie Cha. Vouchers, yes. Vouchers including Lazada, Aeon vouchers, KFC, and etc. You can redeem all of this in our MQ Marketplace. Yeah, so that's all for today. I hope you have enjoyed our webinar. Thank you for participating with us today, and do stay tuned for our next webinar. We'll be organizing it once every month throughout this year. So do take note on that on your email or through our Facebook or social media. We'll be keeping this webinar live for 5 more minutes so that you can refer to the links again. And for those who haven't sent your contact details, those winners haven't sent your contact details, remember to send us now, soon, before we end the webinar. So I will stay here for another few more minutes in case anyone have any questions about MQtrader, and I'm happy to answer.
Okay, so guys, bye. I will say bye to everyone. Thanks everyone for having me here. Thanks MQtrader. Thanks Grace for having me here. And thank you so much, guys. I hope you have gained and won some mysterious gifts, all right, vouchers and all that. All right, great to have you guys here. So thanks so much for flowing and staying all the way to the end. And I hope that you guys have taken away something from this very session. So Joey here, signing off. I look forward to see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching here. I'll just place the link again, all right, in terms of the trade ideas. Thank you. Hi, Rudy. Thank you very much. Right. Thank you so much for being here. Cairo, thank you as well. Brenda, thank you. Eddie, thanks. All right. So I'll just place the link there. Look forward to see you guys again. And I'll pass on the mic to MQtrader. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Joey. I saw one question from Eddie. How to send to us? You can send it to your WhatsApp group if you are our client, or you just send it to the panelists. You can choose to send to panelists only for your details. From Zoom or from Facebook also can. Earlier on, I saw someone asking about having slides or not. We are not sending out slides for the webinar, but we are sending recordings, which is better. So if you want the recordings, Kolishi, if you want the recordings and you haven't registered to us, please send us your email so that we can send the recordings to you. If you have registered, it's fine because by default, we'll be sending the recordings to all who register. So please feel free to ask any questions about MQtrader, and I'm happy to answer. So just a quick reminder, should you choose to open a trading account with MQtrader, all you have to do is send us your contact details through the open account link in the comments section. Opening a trading account with us is free because we will cover the account opening fees for you. You also get an extra 500 MQ points today when your account is open. If you sign up today, and when your account is open, we'll give you the 500 MQ points. So remember to take a screenshot of the webinar and send it to us via email or WhatsApp to claim your check-in rewards. If you have yet to sign up for an MQtrader account, remember to sign up now. It's just like opening a Facebook account. Okay, wait, WK Teen. Yes, your email is registered for the seminar. So we will be sending out the recordings to you. For those winners, remember to send out your contact details so that we can contact you and send the gifts to you for the mysterious gifts. So remember to answer the webinar quiz, post-webinar quiz correctly so that you can earn your 50% Sgx Academy discount voucher. So if you are interested in watching our previous webinar recordings, they are also available on our MQdemy and Facebook page. The QR code and links are on the screen. You can go and watch them after this. We will also be sending out webinar recordings to all who have registered, like I mentioned just now. So for those who have not registered for the event, but you want a recording, please provide us your email address via the chat box, or you send it to our email or to our WhatsApp number shown on the screen. To know more about trading in Singapore, you can visit the link in the comment section or scan the QR code here for more information. You can also receive the latest market insights in Singapore through the Sgx Invest Telegram channel. In the Telegram app, you just search for Sgx Invest or just scan the QR code here. Okay, so if there's no further inquiries regarding MQtrader, I'll turn off my camera now. So thank you once again, and I hope to see you all in our next session. So this is Grace here from MQtrader. Enjoy your week ahead and stay safe. Bye, Wary. Thank you. Thank you all for attending as well. Bye, Eileen. Good night. Good night, everyone. Have a sweet dream.
Thanks for watching.